Hey everybody, Off the Mic Sports Network here. Another edition of Off the Top Rope. I had a big picture AEW Dynamite takeaway show, which really, let's get real. It was a standard Dynamite. It just nothing, not a whole hell of a lot interesting happened. I understand that they're a month away from a pay per view, but one big picture thought that I want to talk about the AEW Women's Division because one thing I talk about consistently, and I've done a lot of videos extensively talking about the division, the women's division in WWE, and the way that is presented. Um, the WWE women's division, specifically NXT, is just freaking spectacular. You have so many rising stars and rising talents that are showing up and showing out and getting an opportunity to do well. When you look at this AEW women's division and the direction that I think they're going to go in for All In Texas, like I understand Mercedes Mone versus Toni Storm is a dream match and it will, sell. Here's the problem. And what I have begun to discover in the last several months, and like this has been going on for a while, if you guys have paid attention to the channel, first and foremost, and I know a lot of Mercedes Mone fans get in the comments of these videos and say, why do you keep shitting on Mercedes Mone? I am not dismissing what this woman has done for women and for women in this industry. Her matches with Bayley 10 years ago, her matches in NXT with Charlotte, with Becky Lynch, the Four Horsewomen, we would not be where we are with the NXT women's division right now. And a lot of women would not get the opportunity to show. We would still be having bikini contests and, piss break matches if it weren't for those four women. Let's call it what it is. So the fact that Mercedes Mone has gotten the opportunity to, get paid, have her own creative team, do whatever the fuck she wants, good for her. She earned it. But what she has done, she has completely destroyed the AEW women's division. She's completely destroyed it. Like, look, case in point, with what transpired on AEW Dynamite on this April 30th edition of the show, the last show of the month. Look what happened here. They had to bring in Miyu Yamashita, I can't even, they had to bring in a Joshi wrestler who's not even contracted to this company and had to present her in an eliminator match against Toni Storm. Granted, hey, it's cool that we're giving women opportunities, but you have so many talented women. They're going to bring in Thekla from Stardom, who just got fired from that place, and she seemed to be a hot commodity in the women's division. She's going to end up going to AEW. At least that's what's been reported. And I just look at this situation. It's like, okay, so now we've got Jamie Hayter, and Mercedes cut a promo and was basically just completely undercutting Jamie and just dismissing the fact. She said, yeah, she's a talented wrestler, but hey, she looks like a cartoon character, and I'm the greatest TBS champion of all time. Look, they've given me zero reason to believe that we're going to get something different. Everybody's talking about, Athena and Mercedes could happen. Guys, Athena got very casually tossed aside after losing that match 2 weeks ago in Boston, which was a great match. But you look at this women's division. Thunder Rosa, what the fuck happened to Thunder Rosa? Megan Bayne challenged for the Women's World Championship at the last pay-per-view. She's been nowhere to be found. She's doing stuff on Collision, and nobody watches Collision. Penelope Ford's hanging out with Megan Bayne. What? Like Anna Jay just came back, and Anna Jay's the new target. Anna Jay actually beat the Women's World Champion Mariah May last year. Mariah May's about to leave. Mina Shirakawa is supposed to appear on television, but they can't get her on Ring of Honor. So it's just like, you look at all these women, they've either been beaten or they haven't been presented to the point of, hey, they feel like a star. Whereas in WWE, you look at, there's Sol Ruca, you've got Stephanie Vaquer, Julia, Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade hasn't been presented, but she's been in and out because of injuries. Kalani Jordan, they've just got a diverse amount of people on the main, and then Io Sky has been just coming in her own, and she might be the best wrestler in the entire company. It's just, Io has just been out of her mind. Bianca Belair can take a break because I heard she hurt her fingers. And Rhea Ripley is a star. There's so many women that, and everybody complains about, oh yeah, Becky Hogan and Rhea just wins all the time. It's like, you look at the women's division in WWE versus AEW right now, and it's just like, it's night and day. There's so many stars being presented in an effective way in WWE, whereas you look on the other side, it's like, it's Toni Storm and it's Toni Storm and Mercedes Mone, and they're so bad. They're so bad in terms of challengers for the two championships, that they're just going to throw both champions against each other. It seems like, unless Jamie pulls what I would think would be the upset of the century. And as much as I love Jamie Hayter to death, there's no way in hell that this is going to happen. Like, she's been presented as an afterthought in this entire build and in this entire build of this tournament. It feels like we are getting Toni Storm versus Mercedes Mone in Texas. And to me, that is a complete detriment to the rest of the women's division. It's an indictment on the rest of the women's division. So then what are you going to do, Tony Khan? You're going to bring in Thekla, somebody who just got fired? What's she going to do? What's she going to do? Like, we're giving Mercedes all of these championships. And granted, like I said, it's a big money match and you need big money matches, but there are so many other better ways to present this. And to me, it's frustrating for me seeing somebody as talented and is given so much to this women's division. It's almost like Mercedes is like, punishing the rest of the women's division for all of the time that she was wronged in WWE by Vince McMahon. And on some level, I get that. I understand that that was a frustrating time where Charlotte, Becky Lynch, and even Bayley were getting more opportunities than she was, when in reality, she's probably, at least from a wrestling perspective, probably the best wrestler out of the four of them. It's just her promo ability is just sinks her so much to the point where you're just like, you can see the difference. And like, man, she had 2 promos on this show, and I was like, God, really? Like, what are we doing? And so when you compare women's divisions, and I know people get mad at me, like I know Mercedes has got a big old fan club. Guys, I will say it, what I said off the top here. I am not dismissing what this woman has done for the industry. Like I said, we would still be in the era of piss breaks and bikini contest if it weren't for her and it weren't for, it's on some level AJ Lee or before them. Even the Bellas kind of bridged the gap as well. But really, it was the 4 horsewomen, which was, Charlotte, Becky, Bayley, and Sasha Mercedes. And, here we are. It's like, you almost look like, do we even need all 4 of them? But like, Mercedes has gotten this big ass platform for herself because, it's run by a Mark and Tony Khan, and she's been able to do whatever the fuck she wants. And in a span of a year, she's completely buried this women's division. And then you look at the place that she left, they've developed a bunch of people that the reason why she's not there anymore is they have developed a women's division in NXT and on the main roster where there are so many people there that are better than her in a lot of ways that they're like, we don't need to pay. So it's just like, what are we doing? So, anyway, thanks so much for watching this episode of Off the Top Rope. We'll have a lot more coverage here of AEW Dynamite and a lot of things that happened throughout the week in wrestling. A big SmackDown coming up, a lot of exciting stuff there. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.